Well, I went to Pride Fest this weekend and it's still Pride month and it was Pride all month long with different boroughs having their own fests and just in general your local restaurants suddenly really like rainbow. That's fun. Um, but I went to the main event, the thing that happens the last Sunday of every June, and it's in Manhattan. And we rode our bikes there. Me and the straight guy were in this relationship. And I don't usually like to go. I don't like to go to Pride Fest. I don't like parades. I know it's not officially a parade, but I don't like crowds. I start getting into making up things like, I don't know, maybe this is for younger people. It feels like a party that I don't have the outfit for. My mind starts going into further places. How queer am I? What kind of queer do I count while I'm in this straight relationship? And then I get over myself and I go. And I've been a bunch of times. And as much as I get into that head and worry about like, I don't know if I want to go and I don't know if I want to be there and it is very crowded and it's too much. I'm always glad I'm there. I'm always like, "Oh, I'm so glad I came here." I find myself with a smile across my face as I'm looking around at what's going on. I'm suddenly singing along to songs with people. I'm dancing with strangers. I'm yelling happy pride. I'm tearing up. And it's because there's you can see the acceptance, you can see the progress. It moves pretty slowly, so you can't always know and feel the evidence of the progress, but this is in your face about it. And it's not how it's Pride Fest now, but it was a defiant march. It was about awareness about the riots in Stonewall. It was a demand for visibility. It was risky being queer. And now I'm looking around and everyone feels safe. And I know it's not over. I know that prejudice and hate will always be here, but progress, not perfection. And to be in it while it's on 1,000, I always think I'm not gonna like it. I always think I'm gonna feel like I don't belong here, or that's not how I party, or it's not how I fest, or it's not how I march, or whatever's going on in my head. I always need to go because it is always a good time, and I did not know that uh so many Manhattan streets were closed off for this. I didn't know, like I don't think it was always like that. It expanded and there's little sub events happening everywhere. And there still is, I mean, as much as there's love everywhere, there's still during the congestion, because, when you have to go through streets of a parade, there's a lot of things blocked off, even for pedestrians. And we rode our bike and then parked it and then walked around. So you get into these congestion areas where they're letting people across the street, but very slowly because it's only one street open here and you won't be able to cross. So everyone's going in at the same time and it's both ways every time. And so people start getting a little, sometimes rude, sometimes hostile. And there was a person next to me going, "If you push again, you're asking for it," and just sending out threats into the universe for whoever needs to hear them. And I was like, I don't think I'm the one pushing, but I'm going to give a little more room anyway. But it still didn't ruin the vibe. It didn't escalate. Um, People, for the most part, I mean, as much as you can ask a crowd to not push, like naturally you push into each other, but I'm sure people are crossing lines or whatever. But um, now this is still while the festival was going on. It was like around 2, and at 4 it ends. Now I've come at the end And that's a little bit more like the after party that maybe I don't belong at. It's a lot of like, you started drinking early and it's catching up not that well with you, like that kind of vibe. So, and I'm talking about like early 6-ish because that's early to have that kind of vibe because people are drinking all day long. But I think that happens after early party times, no matter what festival or march or parade. So, yeah, that's just not my party. But here's the sad part. The sad part is we recorded all of this. We recorded our bike ride, recorded the bridge, recorded, coming up onto the part of Manhattan that is the parade. Then after we parked the bike, I actually did the handheld thing and we walked around and I spoke to a couple cops. I asked one cop, like, hey, is everyone on duty queer here? Like, do you have to be queer to be? I don't know why. And I don't know why his response was, he was just like, no. but but I thought it was funny and I was like, oh, I captured that and I captured a little fun and, a little extra excitement. And just on the way, somebody, a hot dog cart guy, just as he's doing the Ramadan praying, and it just was such a New York day, and it didn't record. It was indicating that it was recording. We checked several times along the way, and it caught, I think, a few minutes, and it was so sad to hear because it also happened another time. And, when I first moved back here, I was like, I'm going to show you New York. And we're figuring out some stuff about the camera. I don't know what happened this time. Maybe it overheated. Maybe it was recording. I don't know. That's not my department. But it is sad. And I get sad. So here's the thing. Xerxes goes, all right, it didn't record. And I was like, oh my God, this only happens once. And he's like, yep, we're going to have to try again another time. Now, full respect, very stoic response. I love it. But also I don't because I'm not there. I am not in a place where I can go, okay, I know the next step is just to get over it. And the faster I get over it, the faster I can get to what will actually make it happen. So getting it to a good place means that, excuse me, getting it to a good place means I have to go through some feelings first. And I know that resilience is shortening that time because it used to take me out for all day, meaning something like this would happen and I would just be distraught and I would just not be able to, go on and it would take me a while and I would drag the day. And so it's gotten shorter where I needed to go for a walk around the block. I needed to potentially allow a tear or two to go through to sort of mourn it and then keep going. So I think different people respond to things like this in different ways. It does help me to shorten that time, and it is helpful in general to not um just stay in that the thing that's not going to help you, it's not going to move anything forward, it's not going to be better like that. But I also know that I shouldn't suppress the feelings either. So I think it was a pretty good balance of walking around the block just brought me for the most part back. Maybe I had a little food in case, that adds fuel to the um funny that adding fuel to my body makes the fire go down. But anyway, um I think I might always need a little bit of time and maybe it'll shorten to 1 minute where I'll just need a moment and mourning, or maybe it'll just be completely like, that's sad, let's move on. But I'm not going to rush myself because this is a pretty good place to be. I could always use a walk around the block. So anyway, I'm sorry I don't have that for you. I really wanted to share it with you. And um I mourned it, and I'm gonna try again, and that's it. That's that's right now. Thanks for listening and clicking buttons in front of you. Bye.